Once again, our lead story, Barry Seal, an airline pilot turned drug smuggler and soldier of fortune, has been assassinated here in...
When Barry Seal was murdered in the early evening of February 19, 1986, his body riddled with bullets from a machine gun, much of Baton Rouge reacted with shock. Drug-related assassinations don't happen here. Contract killings are something we read about in the newspapers or see on television programs. It doesn't happen in our community. But Seal's lifestyle was not that of a typical Baton Rougean.
Barry Seal, without question, was the most important federal witness in this country.
In the spring and summer of 1984, Barry Seal became the key figure in what federal officials described as the most significant case in drug enforcement history.
Our mission was coordinated by the CIA and the Drug Enforcement Administration of the United States.
The Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, was using Seal to develop a case against two of the leading cocaine suppliers in the world. At the same time, the CIA was trying to link Nicaragua's Sandinista government to international drug trafficking.
I think that the Central Intelligence Agency and the State Department all along has known that the Sandinista government will go to any means to support and supply and finance their government, regardless of what it takes.
The daring sting operation moved into high gear with meetings with Jorge Ochoa, the eldest son of Fabio Ochoa, reputed to be one of the leading cocaine suppliers in the world. According to subsequent court testimony, Seal was contacted by the Ochoa family about transporting 3,000 kilos of cocaine into the United States from Colombia. This was followed by numerous meetings which were secretly photographed and telephone conversations that were recorded. Finally, arrangements were made to pick up the first shipment of cocaine, about 1,500 pounds, at an airstrip controlled by the Ochoa family in the Colombian jungles. The mission almost ended there when Seal's plane, overloaded with cocaine, crashed and burned. A second plane was provided by the Ochoas. Seal took off for the United States with instructions to stop in Nicaragua, where arrangements for refueling had been made. But Seal said a mix-up caused more problems.
We took a round in the left engine climbing out over the mountains in the clouds, and we lost the left engine, and we had to go back and make an emergency landing at the Sandino Managua International Airport about 10 o'clock at night. And we're immediately surrounded by the armed forces there, and we were hustled off and thrown in prison for a couple of days until the newspapers calmed down. The way they reported it to the newspapers was a local flight had taken off and had lost its way, and that the gunfire was tracer bullets shot by the anti-aircraft guns to show the pilot where to land at.
Following the Nicaraguan mishap, the cocaine was stashed near the airstrip, and Seal returned to the United States for yet a third airplane. This was the aircraft known as the Fat Lady, a C-123 military cargo plane. It would be manned by Seal and two other Louisiana men, co-pilot Emil Camp, who was later killed in a plane crash in Arkansas, and engineer Peter Everson. When Seal told his DEA contacts about the Nicaraguan stopover and about the apparent involvement in the drug deal by soldiers and officials of the Sandinista government, the CIA jumped into the case, rigging the cargo plane with a camera.
The camera was mounted here on this bulkhead by the CIA. They had a remote control camera enclosed in an electronics box with a small eye on it so that it looked like an electronic gizmo inside the airplane.
The remote control camera produced a remarkable set of photographs. The man wearing the fatigue hat is a Nicaraguan soldier.
Got the airplane completely ready to go, and about 5 minutes before departure time, the Army brought in the truckloads, the duffel bags full of cocaine, and they were loaded on board the aircraft by the Cuban and Sandinista soldiers.
The man facing the camera is Federico Vaughn, an aide to the Interior Minister in Nicaragua's Sandinista government. The photographs of Vaughn sent out shockwaves all the way to the White House.
The Sandinistas have even involved themselves in the international drug trade. I know every American parent concerned about the drug problem will be